Welcome to the Rusted Garden. It's January 10th and I want to show you the pop-up greenhouse again. I did a 6-video series on this that showed you how I set this up, but what I want to show you today is really how to manage the winter temperatures. A lot of this was set up for the fall and it was successful. You can check out that series. Today all I want to talk about is this canvas that I added. This is a painter's canvas. It's pretty thick. You can use any kind of blanket, but adding this additional piece of cloth for protection against the cold nights really made a difference. And here in Maryland Zone 7, that's one of the things that I face come January and February are single-digit nights where it gets really, really cold. In the 6-part series, you saw how the setup really worked to grow these greens inside, and they're a little bit wilted because it was really cold last night, but they're going to pop back and be perfectly fine. Inside I have 2 aquarium heaters in 5-gallon buckets, and this is what keeps the heat inside. These are just 25-watt aquarium heaters. But with the addition of the painter's cloth on top of this, this is what it looked like on January 6th. On January 6th at 6 a.m. it got down to 19 degrees. This was completely covered by the painter's cloth. So the outside temperature was 19 degrees, the inside temperature was 38 degrees, and you can see 27 degrees at 5 p.m. when the sun was up, 39 degrees, and then at 11 o'clock at night it got down to 18 degrees and it stayed 36 degrees. I kept this covered for a full 24 hours. There really wasn't any sun that day, and I didn't want the cold to really kind of penetrate this for a 24-hour period. And this type of greenhouse, if you block the light out for 24 hours, that's really not a problem. Then on the next day I knew it was going to be sunny, so I uncovered it at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. it was 19 degrees out, and the internal temperature of the greenhouse stayed at 35. 5 p.m. it was 16 degrees, stayed at 33 degrees. When I got home from work I covered it again, and the internal temperature did get up to 74 degrees when the sun was beaming through here. So these greenhouses can get really warm, and I wanted to do 24 hours completely covered and at least have it in the sun for the next 10 hours during the day, so that the heat would come back in here, get absorbed into the soil, get absorbed into the water, and maybe that makes a difference, I'm not sure. But as of 8 o'clock it was covered up again. The temperatures dropped 12 degrees, it stayed 31, got down to 10 degrees at 10, stayed at 29, and then it got down to 9 and 7 degrees, and the internal temperature stayed at 27 and 27 degrees. And that's a big difference. That's a 20-degree difference. Having the aquarium heaters, definitely necessary. Some bubble wrap you can see in the other videos if you want to look it up. But adding in this cloth for the winter, for January, for February, is really going to allow me to save all these plants and continue my goal of growing greens through the entire winter here in Maryland Zone 7. So I hope this gives you a tip to use if you're growing something like this in your yard. Please check out my blog at www.therustedgarden.blogspot.com and also check out my YouTube videos. Thanks.